What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we got some unfortunate news, man, regarding the reigning WBC former heavyweight world champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, as he has informed me that he did indeed find out that somebody in his team had sacrificed and put something in his water. You heard me. He had somebody in the team sacrificed and put something in his water and spiked his water. Thus, the reason why, he wasn't feeling normal. He wasn't feeling his normal self. And ironically enough, I just read an article coming from former undisputed heavyweight world champion Evander the Real Deal Holyfield, in which he said, he simply put it, that looked nothing like Deontay Wilder in that fight. That didn't resemble Deontay Wilder that we used to seeing. That looked nothing like the Deontay Wilder we used to we come to know, right? Also, too, he identified and was notified that there was a foreign object in Tyson Fury's glove, more than likely some sort of metal. You heard it. There was some sort of metal in his glove that inflicted the damage on Deontay Wilder. So he was up against it from the get-go. And this is proof. So you're going to hear it from the horse's mouth himself, but he just wanted to inform the people that he's not making up excuses. He's not making stories up. But indeed, these are the actions and these are the events that took place regarding his prior to his fight, going into the highly anticipated rematch with now newly crowned WBC champion Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, right? So the deck was stacked against him from the jump, from the beginning. This is nothing new within the sport of boxing. Boxing in itself is a dark sport. We all know this, right? Thus the reason why boxing doesn't get the publicity and the recognition on mainstream, right? Because of the things that take place within the sport of boxing, under the table, behind the scenes, behind the curtains, right? We know this to be true. We saw guys like Antonio Margarito cheat against Miguel Cotto and was not caught all the way up until he fought Shane Mosley, and Shane Mosley's trainer, Nassim Richardson, caught the fact that Antonio Margarito was loading his gloves. We've seen other fighters suffer life-changing events after being in the ring and guys tampering with their gloves. So now Deontay Wilder has proof now that Tyson Fury had a foreign object within his gloves. And on top of that, someone in his team sacrificed his health by spiking his water. This is unfortunate because the sport of boxing itself is dangerous. Every time they step through the ropes on a fair playing field, right? Every time they step through the ropes, they're risking their life and putting their life on the line for our entertainment. Yes, do they get rewarded handsomely for this for their services? Yes, they do. But still, nonetheless, they're risking their life every single time they step through the ropes. And for there to be any enhancements or there to be any tampering or any foul play only enhances the chances of somebody severely getting injured within the sport. This, at the end of the day, is a sport. It's a very dangerous sport, but still, nonetheless, it's a sport. And you want both guys to go home to their families. Deontay Wilder got in the sport of boxing to provide for his daughter that suffers from spinal bifida, right? That's the reason why he got into the sport of boxing, to be able to help pay for her hospital bills, her doctor bills, her medical bills, right? So he got in the sport to provide for his family. He just happened to become very successful at the sport. He became Olympic bronze medalist. He medaled in a short period of time. That's not heard of, right? He knocked out or knocked down every opponent he's ever faced. Up until this Tyson Fury, the first fight, right? Dropped Tyson Fury twice in the first fight. Then miraculously in the second fight, Tyson Fury is able to press forward. Tyson Fury is never known as a big puncher, but it seemed like the roles reversed. The tides changed. It seemed like Tyson Fury was the big power puncher and Deontay Wilder was the pillow-fisted puncher boxer, and that's never the case. Tyson Fury was always seen as the pillow-fisted puncher. Deontay Wilder was always seen as the biggest puncher within the sport of boxing, possibly history. The numbers say history, right? The highest knockout percentage in the history of the sport of boxing. So this is truly unfortunate that he suffered this chain of events, and it resulted in the first loss of his career, and it nearly resulted in a loss of life for him. The medical doctors informed him that if he had took a few more blows to that particular area, that he suffered a dent in the bone. So all of a sudden, miraculously, Tyson Fury has bone-crushing power. Deontay Wilder has a dent that will forever be a dent running down his cheekbone that connects to his ear bone right here. There's a dent there. Now that the doctor is saying a couple of more punches to that area at the time during the fight could have resulted in a loss of life for Deontay Wilder. So he truly sacrificed himself and his health in that situation. If you look at the fight, as the fight nears, as the fight was nearing during the introductions, you could see he continued to rub his eyes. You could see he continued to blink as if something was wrong, right? And from the opening bell, he never seemed to be himself. And two, the statement that people ran with that his suit was just too heavy and his legs were numbed, thus the reason why he lost the fight. And people claim that that was a statement that he made. That is also false. He informed me that that never took place. It was actually a discussion amongst his family and his team in the locker room that was overheard by a media member that took a private conversation and posted it out in the media. So that's wrong in itself. I know a lot of people always going to make and say, well, it's just an excuse. He's making up excuses. He's a sore loser. This is what Miguel Cotto was told after he suffered his first loss against Antonio Margarito, when Miguel Cotto told everybody that would listen that he felt Antonio Margarito had loaded gloves and there was some foul play there, and everybody told Miguel Cotto that he was just being a diva and a sore loser, and that he couldn't take the fact that he suffered such a brutal loss, and he quit in the fight. Remember, Miguel Cotto took a knee, then shook his head, shook the fight off to the referee, told him he couldn't continue, and he was considered a quitter. Remember that. Deontay Wilder did not quit. His team threw in a towel. And this is unfortunate, like I stated. So he's very upset, and there's no way possible that he's going to take step-aside money. There's no way possible that he's looking to face anybody else outside of Tyson Fury. And he wants it to be known that this is definitely a personal situation right now. And he has mown he like he wants it to be known. He's mowed the lawn, he's found the snakes, and he's getting rid of them. So it's a whole different ball game. He's reacclimating himself to the sport of boxing, to himself, gathering himself, getting himself healthy, and prepared for the trilogy match. And he absolutely cannot wait for the trilogy match because he feels like it's going to, and he says it's going to be a whole different ball game once that trilogy match rolls around. So this is an unfortunate chain of events. Like I said, it's the first loss in his career. And like I said, the boxing fans, the boxing pundits, there's a lot of disdain towards Deontay Wilder. So the first thing that people's going to come to their mind is that he's making up excuses. He's being a sore loser. Like I said, this is what Miguel Cotto was also told, and nobody still didn't apologize to Miguel Cotto. You had boxing pundits, you had fans, you had media members, you had everybody who would listen, former boxers, legendary boxers, saying Miguel Cotto was being a sore loser when Miguel Cotto was putting out pictures and drawing circles around Antonio Margarito's raps. And they would tell him, Miguel Cotto, that he was just being a sore loser. It wasn't until Antonio Margarito went into another big event, another big fight, in which he went to face Shane Mosley. And Shane Mosley's trainer, Nassim Richardson, caught the fact that his hand wraps was loaded. And he brutally was knocked out in that fight and resembled nothing of the fighter that he was when he fought Miguel Cotto the first time. Keep that in mind when you quick to jump to defend the situation and quick to say that place the sore loser or excuse tag on Deontay Wilder. Point blank and period. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. And also, too, let me say this one thing. Another thing is, before I get to that, you can see there's an interview with Tyson Fury in the post-fight press conference when somebody goes to pass Tyson Fury a bottle of water, in which Tyson Fury responds, "Where did the bottle of water come from?" Whoever was passing Tyson Fury the bottle of water says it came from over there. Tyson Fury refused to drink the bottle of water, and it was a brand new bottle of water that was not even open. So why would Tyson Fury refuse to drink a brand new bottle of water? He said, if it didn't come from my team, I'm not drinking it. These are light bulbs. You need to pay attention, man. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.